Hi, I'm Vern Page, and I'm back again. Maybe some of you got a chance to see our first video on water and the importance of having your own water. Today, what we're going to look at is procuring water to supplement the water that you do have. In the case of a long-term event, you're going to need to procure water. Now, the easiest way is if it's raining, you collect the water that comes off your roof. And if it's a downpour, you're going to have a lot of water. You're going to have many hundreds of gallons of water coming off your roof. And we suggest that with water from your roof, that you use that water for your wash water. Washing clothes, washing dishes, washing your body, and use that for cleaning. In an emergency, yeah, you can drink it, but that's probably not the greatest idea, because you can catch water in ways that it's going to be clean and not have the asphalt or have the debris that's on your roof getting caught in it. And to catch water, we suggest you have some heavy-duty type garbage containers. Now, we're putting clean water in there, and they do need to have the number 2 rating, the little triangle with the number 2 type plastic that is food grade and drinkable water grade plastic to catch that rainwater from the roof. Now, using a clean tarp, and you can't tell this real well with the picture, but there's a little slope here in this person's backyard, and they've just laid the tarp out and propped up the one corner, and it was amazing how much water was collected in 1 hour. I was surprised, and this lady filled up all of her containers and took them into her kitchen, and she was in great shape. And that water can be drank. Now, collecting surface water, water that's on the surface of the land, you always disinfect. You never know what could be in that. And this is an important thing. So we want to talk about how you kill organisms that might be in the water that would cause illness or disease. Here we're gathering some pond water. And you can see by the picture here, this is got algae and duckweed and various things in the water. And we're gathering this up. And there are many organisms worldwide that kill millions of people, literally die from waterborne type illnesses, maybe dysentery and typhoid fever and cholera and such. And we have some of those organisms within the Northwest here. So if the only water we have is obviously full of stuff, can we drink this? And the answer is yes. Now, yes, assuming we don't have chemicals in it. Assuming this is a natural water source that is out in the forest or the field or the prairie. If it's a natural water source and there are chemicals in it, yes, you can. But we're going to want to filter it. We're going to want to take most of those particles out. And there's 2 simple ways. One is to use some heavy-duty paper towels. Now, some paper towels will just disintegrate. And there's several brands that are very strong. And you get a couple layers of those, and this works very well for removing algae and some of your larger particles, like you see here. Now, another thing is very simple. If you have a clean T-shirt, and it doesn't have to be a white T-shirt, but I think I kind of like the idea. In fact, my grandson was helping me do this, and he went up and got his sister's white T-shirt. She was not real happy about that. But anyway, a clean white T-shirt works very well. Cotton has a small fiber, and we'll help you filter that out. To kill organisms now in the water, because a lot of those organisms are going to be able to come through the paper towel or come through the T-shirt. To kill, the easiest way is to boil. Now, this is my wood stove, and I have boiled water on my wood stove a number of times, and I'm sure I will boil in the future. Boiling is all you have to do is bring it up to boil and then just let it set. Some people like to boil for maybe 1 minute. Some say that's not even necessary, but you do need to let it set at that temperature for just a little period of time to denature the molecules of that virus or bacteria or whatever. Here's using a camp stove in an emergency where maybe you don't have natural gas or electricity. Using your barbecue is certainly a possibility for boiling. And here are some of the disinfectants. If you can't boil for whatever reason, or you want to use a chemical disinfectant, there are dozens of chemicals that are used to ensure that the water is safe. Our city uses chlorine, and that's one of the more common ones around the world. We have bleach is something that most people have in their home, and we'll talk a little more about that. Hydrogen peroxide, people often will have some of that, although the shelf life on this is much shorter, and so I would be leery of that. The military uses iodine. Iodine tablets is what they use to kill organisms in their canteen and the water they're gathering. So a lot of different chemicals. We're going to look at the common one. The easiest one that is available is bleach. And if you are buying bleach for emergency situations, make sure it doesn't have coloring agents and smells and all that other additional things. Just get plain bleach. And we recommend having 4 2-quart containers. And rotate these. They do have a shelf life. If they're kept, at a decent temperature, not too hot, and never freeze, you probably have a 1 year or 2 shelf life, with your bleach. And so that way, you're always would be using some fresh bleach in killing your organisms. Simply 8 drops of bleach in a gallon of water that you collected will kill the organisms, and you do need to let them set at a decent temperature for at least a half an hour. Bleach is powerful, but you want to make sure that all of those organisms are removed. If you have a 5-gallon container, this is not a science in the amount. It takes very little bleach to kill. Just take 2 full eyedropper full and squirt that in there, get another full eyedropper full and squirt it in that 5-gallon container and let it set, and you're not going to have any problems. Now, what I do, and I will stress this as we go through these series over the next few weeks, I like to keep everything very, very simple and easy, because in an emergency, people start to panic. They can't remember where things are. And now, what was the number of drops do we need to use to kill the organisms? And where did they have everything laid out and very simple, and your location of where you store things that is easily known is very important. And so I tape my eyedropper to one of those jugs of bleach, and I always know where it's at, and I have it. And I've written, now I don't forget this, but I did this for your sake, but 8 drops per gallon, and I put the date on there. So when a year or 2 passes, I'm going to make sure I'm not going to use that jug. I'll use it for clothing or something else. Okay, and do not let this freeze. Freezing will destroy the potency of your bleach. Now, also, we can filter. We can filter out the particles. I have this Berkeley water filter. These are really decent water filters, and they're amazing. They will get rid of viruses. The tiniest of particles are filtered out by these. But this particular one costs about $300, and there are many, many others. But you would not put pond water in here. The water you put in here has got to be, pretty clean, or it's going to plug up your filter. Then the filter's not going to work. So make certain if you do filter your water that you use water that at least the larger particles have been removed beforehand. Okay, water items to have. Tar. You want to be able to kill organisms, eyedroppers, and various. Okay, in review, we talked about collecting rainwater from a roof that can be used for washing and cleaning. We can collect water with a clean tart, and that could be used for drinking. And if we're collecting water that's on the surface of the land from a pond or creek or river, we've got to make certain that we treat it. Now, in treating water, the easiest is just to boil it. Just boil it, bring it to a boil, and then let it sit a little while after it's boiled, and you'll be good to go. Secondly, we can kill the organisms chemically by just using a product like bleach that will only 8 drops per gallon of water is very effective. And make sure you let it set a while so that it has time to take its action. And using a quality filter that is going to remove any particle that's in it. Now, if your water is very green, murky, has a lot of algae and things in it, you want to filter that out first before you put it in your filter so you protect your filtering agents. Now, for further information about water, you can access our website, SpokaneHomePrep.com, and we have a number of things that you can check out. Thank you.